What is up, freedom fighters? It's Dean Soto. I'm gonna try out this new cinematic way of doing video. We'll see if this how this goes. Hey, go check out Prosulum, prosulum.com, freedomin5minutes.com. Like and subscribe, all that jazz. Today we're gonna talk more about the sweep strategy. Had a really cool comment from one of my good friends, Mr. Paul from Honey Badger Cellar. We're on the walk with Luna Meister. Let's see. You see puppies? There. We're undoing the gate. There's a dog's butt. That's Luna's butt. And we're on our way. Let's see if these, look at those puppies. Des and Troy together, they destroy, right? So anyway, we'll see how this goes. There was a little hiccup there. So maybe this won't be the right way to do this in the future, but we'll find out. So let's talk about sweep strategy. So I had a really good comment from Paul from Honey Badger Cellar. Paul is awesome, amazing sales guy. He and not just sales, he's a great business developer guy. Perfect at networking. I mean, I've never seen anybody. I'm trying to adjust this. Never seen anybody network like this guy. He is absolutely amazing. We did some business together. He's the reason why I became pretty decent at sales. And so anyway, go check out Honey Badger Cellar if you want to learn how to sell like nobody's business. That guy can teach you how to sell ice to Eskimos and get paid tens of thousands of dollars doing it as well. He's amazing. So we're gonna go on our walk. You can see back there, probably not, it's all blurry because it's cinematic. This is gonna be interesting. We'll see if this works. But I wanted to talk more about the sweep strategy. So his comment, sorry, I'm gonna get to it, I promise. His comment was that he actually used the sweep strategy and he's halfway to paying down all his debt. And that is absolutely amazing. I actually commented back to him that he is one of the, out of the probably 10, I would say 20 people that I've shared the sweep strategy with, he is the one of 2 people who have he's one of 2 people who have actually implemented it and tried it and have seen it actually work for them. So everyone else, so it's basically 100% have actually used it and have seen amazing results with it. I'm looking at my dogs over here, making sure that they are doing what they're supposed to do. By the way, howdy, you like the hat? It's my daughter bought this for me. One of my daughter Yvette spent her own money to buy me a beautiful hat like this at our local store, and I cherish it. So the comment was that he used it to pay off debt, which is great, and that it basically changed his life, which is what I talked about in the previous video. When you understand it, when you understand the sweep strategy, in my opinion, which I did not at first, I actually thought I was being cheated at first. When you understand the sweep strategy, at least with our current system, our debt-based system, you're able to do, it basically, the way that you stay enslaved is by doing things the way that the enslavers, so to speak, want you to do it, right? They want you to, they don't want you to understand that there's, that if you invert everything, if you flip everything, that you could, this is not financial advice at all. This is just me with a hat and some dogs running around. That you could thrive in this system. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk a little bit more about what the sweep strategy is, how it works, and how you can use it to better your current predicament right now, if you're in debt or if you're a business person, to use it for business. Okay, so last time, if you look at the last video, which at some point in time I'll link in the description, but if you just go to my channel, you'll see the last video, or the previous video, talked about how the sweep strategy worked. And I just kind of want to go in a little bit more detail and try to make it as simple as possible, okay? So the two different things that you need to understand, or that you need to know, are really how the two financial vehicles work. So the first financial vehicle, someone's calling me, the first financial vehicle is a line of credit, a revolving line of credit. And that's the one that we want. I do not do any other type of loans. In fact, when you get good at this, you can put your mortgage into a revolving line of credit and it works out way better for you. The other vehicle is a loan, right? So the other vehicle is a loan. So you'll see all these consolidation loans. You'll get offered all these different types of personal loans and things like that. Why do you think they push that more than they push the lines of credit? Well, I'll tell you why. There's a very good reason why, actually. They push those because what is the biggest difference between a revolving line of credit? This is, and when we talk about a revolving line of credit, this is where if you have the, what is it called? If you have $10,000 in a revolving line of credit and you are, you borrow 5,000 of it, but then you pay back the next week 5,000 of it, you have access to that 10,000 again, right? That's what a revolving line of credit is. You always have the amount that you can borrow, and when you pay it back, you have access to it, always. A loan, on the other hand, if I were to get, say, a personal loan or a business loan or something like that, when I pay back that loan at 2%, 1%, whatever, if I have a $10,000 loan and I pay $5,000 back to that loan, do I have access to that $5,000? No. They're like, thank you for paying so much in principal, and that's about it, right? And so with a revolving line of credit, you're able to do so much more. With a revolving line of credit, you're able to use it almost like a checking account, okay? And there are some professionals that can guide you through this. One that I recommend is Sweep Strategies. Actually, I learned it completely on my own. I had a friend who taught me how to do this, but that friend actually works with Sweep Strategies, and they are awesome. So sweepstrategies.com, I get nothing from it. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but they can help you to do this strategy. Okay, so let's get it. Let's keep going. So we want to have those two. We have the line and we have the loan. The line and the loan. What's the other biggest difference between the two? The other big difference is that a line of credit, even a credit card, is a revolving line of credit. Whoops, sorry. Even a credit card is a revolving line of credit. Okay. A credit card is something, sorry. Okay. A credit card is a revolving line of credit, but I totally missed, I was going to do the difference between the two. Here we go. So we have two types of things. We have the revolving line of credit and we have the loan, right? So what's the other difference? The other difference is that with a revolving line of credit, even with a credit card, what type of interest is it? Is it amortized or is it simple? Credit card and any type of revolving line of credit is simple, right? Simple. And if you remember your college classes or even maybe some of your high school classes, simple basically means, you know, at the end of the year, I'm going to totally simplify even simple. At the end of the year, if you borrowed $10,000 and it's 22% simple interest, you're going to pay $2,200 in interest, right? Okay. Now, with a amortized loan, let's say I got a 5%. I'm just using this number. I know obviously it's smaller. Say I got a 5% mortgage, 30-year, at just so 5% 30-year mortgage at $100,000. You're thinking, wow, 5%. Do I want the 22% or do I want the 5%? In the sweep world, you want the 22%, because how much are you going to pay over that 30-year mortgage? You're going to pay, you double the number at a zero, okay? That's why when you look, if you've ever bought a house, you look at the end game. If you bought you had a 5% mortgage, 5% interest mortgage, 30 years, and at $100,000, you're at the end of the day, you're paying $200,000 for that house. Amortized means that all the interest is up front. Okay, so every monthly payment that you're doing, it's all up front. And my dogs just went somewhere. It's all up front. So you're paying a hefty amount. Like, you are paying so much in interest. Oh, look at that. Nice hair. Up front. That by the time, really, when it's funny because everyone refinances around the 7-year mark, you're really paying, all you're paying is interest. You're not even paying, at that point, you're pretty much not paying any principal whatsoever. Okay. And so with a line, you are, whenever you're able to, so say I had that $100,000 in a line of credit rather than a mortgage. Every time I pay into that line of credit, not only does it affect the principal, I can actually then use that money again, right? If I had a $100,000 mortgage, if I paid $50,000 into it, they're going to say, thank you, great, you're awesome, thank you so much, we're keeping your money. You can't ever use that again. But with a line of credit, you can. With a line of credit, you are able to, whether it's a home equity line of credit, business credit, line of credit, credit card, and so on, you're able to then use that, what you paid into it, again and again and again. Okay, so why am I saying this? Dean, why are you going so much into this? It's because when you understand this, it opens up a whole new world. So like if you watch my previous video, you'll see that when you use a sweep strategy, all of your revenue, if you have a full-time job right now, let's say your expenses are $2,000 and you make $5,000. Or I should say that. Let's say it's $4,000 your expenses and you make $5,000 a month. The $5,000 that you bring in, rather than put it into your checking account, if you put it into, say, your credit card, as much as you can, because some things you can't buy with a credit card, like mortgage and some utilities and so on and so forth. Oh my gosh, I need to move into the shade. Right back. When you use the credit card instead, and you put all of that money, and I'm literally saying put all of that money into that credit card, and say you had $10,000 in credit card debt, and you put that $5,000 that you got in the paycheck. Do you have access to those funds? Yes, right? So say I had $10,000 in credit card debt. Yeah, they're over there. See Luna in the background over there. She's a little hazy. You have $10,000 in credit card debt. You put $5,000 of that in, like literally you bring in that $5,000 from your paycheck, you put it into that credit card. Can you access that 5,000? Absolutely. You can still use it. You can use it for groceries. You can use it for tickets. You can use it for whatever you want, right? I actually had a friend who, actually Honey Badger and I both know, who knew they were going to pay taxes in like 6 months. So they had like a tax saving thing for that, where they had like a couple $1,000s. And I'm like, why are you doing that? And he's like, well, because I got to pay these taxes. And it was just sitting there doing nothing. And so I said, just put it into your credit card, dude. Didn't you realize you can pay your taxes with a credit card, right? And he's like, oh, I didn't realize that. And so he actually took that 7,000, paid off an entire credit card, so it's at zero balance. And then later on, in a few months, when he actually owes the taxes, he's going to pay it with his credit card, right? That's how this works. So let's say you have $10,000 in credit card balance. You are then going to take that, say that $5,000 for the month, you pop it into your credit card. What is the credit card company going to think? Yes, you might use that later for groceries. You might use the credit card for whatever you want to do. But that credit card's going to look, that company's going to look at that and say, dude, they just paid $5,000 off like that. And then the next month they did another $5,000. And then the next month they did another $5,000. One, you're going to have zero credit card debt eventually, aside from your normal expenses. But they're looking at that as payment for you, because you can still access that funds. It's almost like a checking account. In fact, you're probably saving more money putting it all into your credit card or your line of credit or whatever it is. You're saving more money by doing that than if you were to just have it in a checking account that you're paying a $30 fee every month to have, right? And so the idea behind the sweep strategy is that you're kind of inverting everything, because you have to understand that money is debt to begin with, all of it. Unless you're holding gold or silver or up there, way in the back, I have sea trains, which are like connexes, which are on boats, the big 8x20 containers. I have a excavator, things like that. That's hard assets, things that actually have value in themselves. Money doesn't have any value. It's just a piece of paper. Literally, it's a piece of paper that probably costs a few pennies, right? So when you understand that and you use the line of credit in an inverted way, it actually becomes a better checking account. And so what the cool thing that happens too is that as you're doing this, the credit card company is going like, dude, this guy is paying like all the time. And yes, he's utilizing, but he's always paying back and forth. They just see payment. They don't care. That it's so robotic and so funny how it works. They literally do not see it as that you're using this sweep strategy thing. They see all of this as payment. So it's credit card or a line of credit or whatever. You open up another credit card and you increase your utilization. You increase your, like, I don't know what it's called. Like, it's like the capacity of how much you can borrow. And you get another credit card and another credit card and another credit card. And they see it like, oh, this guy has $50,000 in personal credit, but he's using $10,000 of it, but he's paying all the time. He is paying more than normal. And the cool thing that you start to find out is that as you're doing that, they see all of those payments, they will actually increase your credit line. And so when they increase your credit line, what happens? Now you have access to more money. So let's say you had that $10,000 trip that you wanted to go on, and you know that you have a steady job. Make sure that you are, the only thing that would ever destroy the sweep strategy, look at that, beautiful, right? anything that would destroy, the only thing that would destroy the sweep strategy is if you are spending more than you're bringing in. Okay. If you have a steady job, if you're a business and you have a steady revenue and so on and so forth, then then that $10,000 trip that you wanted to go on, or $20,000 trip that you wanted to go on, you can pop that onto your credit cards every time you get a paycheck, every time you get revenue, every time you get money coming in, you put it into the credit card because you know that you can use that later, right? It's a revolving line of credit. And they see that as a payment. Let's say the minimum payment was $500, or sorry, $50. And you paid $500 because you got a $500 consulting fee or something like that. They're going to look at that and say, wow, that's a great payment, $500. You can still use that $500, but they see that as an actual payment, and they are going to, over time, you're going to see your credit increase. You see them increasing your credit line. It's funny because I'll get credit cards. I'll have credit cards where, I actually just did one right now where the initial credit line was like $7,000, and then a few months later it was like $17,000, and I'm like, that's cool. It's free money, right? It's at least with the way things are with this particular system that we're in right now. So to end all of this, the reason why I'm saying this and the reason why I did this video is to give you a little bit more detail as to how the sweep strategy works. If you're still confused, go to sweepstrategies.com or whatever it is. I don't even know. They're awesome. I say this because I teach this, or I don't teach this, but I preach this because I've seen so many people benefit, to include Honey Badger Seller. If you check out his comments, he is amazing. Go check him out. And I have a bunch of neighbors here in my community that I've been able to help to stay out of debt, to not fall victim to a lot of the stuff that's happening around the world, especially with inflation. We can talk about that in just a little bit, maybe in the next video. But yeah, if you want to know more about the sweep strategy, there's tons of YouTube videos. There's a lot of people who say it doesn't work, that it's scary and yada yada, but dude, it's been awesome. And for me and my family, it's been awesome. For Honey Badger Sellers, it's been awesome for a lot of my friends. Well, not a lot of my friends, literally one other person who actually did it and is thriving with it. But yeah, so hopefully this is helpful. If you think it's helpful, like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing more of these as time goes on, and I will see you in the next video. Like, subscribe, go to prosulum.com, prosulum.com, and freedomin5minutes.com, and I'll see you in the next video. I have a sales call to go to, and we'll see how that goes. All right, see ya. Have a good one. We'll talk soon. Bye.